Holy Two-Face redemption arc, Batman! Tiki here, and I've been watching through Batman the Animated Series Season 3 for the first time, and oh my god, what is this? Everyone's getting a redemption arc! Everyone! All the villains are getting a redemption arc. Dragon, help me make sense of this mess, fool!
Well, you see, folks, long ago, I made a vow to educate Tiki in the ways of Batman the Animated Series, serving as his spirit guide to Gotham, in a way.
And tonight we're talking about the Two-Face reformation episode called Second Chance. All right, Dragon, I'm terribly sorry. I didn't mean to call you a fool. I don't know where that came from. But, man, I tell you, this is a trend in Season 3, is it not?
Yeah, there's a lot of reform, but this one, again, this one skirts by. This one I can't in good conscience call a reform episode.
Okay, so with that in mind, let me give you my thesis on this thing,
Right.
Dragon.
What do you got?
I really dig this episode, man. I don't think this is A tier Batman the Animated Series, but I would easily give this B+. Like, this is some really good stuff. I love that this episode is kind of like drenched in the Batman detective work of it all. But I also love where we end up and how Batman was kind of like, you know, he had the answer under his thumb the whole time, but he just couldn't think of it. It's a damn good mystery, and it's a good, like, kind of Shyamalana ding-dong twist. So, Dragon, I like this episode quite a bit. I was engaged with it, for sure.
Yeah, I like it a lot myself. Yeah, I really do enjoy Second Chance. It's a great sequel episode, definitely.
It is, yeah.
Of course, what better character to do a sequel episode for than Two-Face?
And Dragon, dare I say, I think it works out better than most of the reform episodes in season 3 do.
Yeah, and yes, but again, not necessarily. It's kind of I call this episode like Reform Interruptus. Like it starts off as a reform, but then a left turn.
For sure.
But again, Tiki, if you were any of the folks,
I think that left turn is kind of what makes the episode so interesting.
It is. But folks, if any Tiki, you and if any of the folks at home want to see what the Two-Face reform episode would have looked like, check out the little motion comic Two of a Kind. It's this little Batman black and white story Bruce Timm did. I forget if I believe Bruce Timm wrote and drew the story, but it's basically what if the surgery actually went through and like what would have happened after that. So it's kind of there is like kind of like another version of this episode in like motion comic form if you want to see it.
Gotcha. All right, so with that in mind, Dragon, why don't you go ahead and get into the background on this thing?
Okay, a little bit of context. So this was directed by the great Boyd Kirkland, who was behind some of the all-time greats. A lot of the personal episodes for Batman and Bruce Wayne. I Am the Night, for example, one of my all-time favorites. Did Perchance the Dream. And did Grey Ghost. You know, very Bruce.
Those are legitimately like a solid top 3, just right there.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, of course, Boyd Kirkland, unfortunately, no longer with us these days, but again, man did tremendous work. Writing, we got a very strong panel of writers here, Tiki. Yet again,
as I noticed in the credits, yes.
Of course, we have the incomparable Paul Dini. Again, the last Two-Face episode he worked on was Almost Got Him, a little Two-Face kind of ensemble. Because I think Two-Face has shown up, but as an ensemble in other episodes, and also Dini episodes, if you really notice, because he's shown up in Almost Got Him in Trial. And again, Dini's just kind of worked in Two-Face very, very nicely there. Also, most recent Dini entry, Riddler's Reform. That one actually was a reform in everything. Name and content. And also, the great Michael Reeves worked on this. Of course, one of the men behind Phantasm, along with Dini. Did Perchance the Dream and Bullet for Bullock this season.
Mm-hmm.
And lastly, this one kind of out of left field, Jerry Conway. Jerry Conway, in regards to Batman, he did Appointment in Crime Alley, which is a good episode. Again, very Bruce Batman-centric, very really emotional one for Batman, but also a very famous Spider-Man writer. Man did, this is the guy who killed Gwen Stacy.
Oh, okay. Yeah, well, that
Jerry
right there
Conway
gives you all the pedigree in the world, my friend.
Yeah, Jerry Conway's the guy.
Movement.
Yeah, I remember he's the one who took over for Stan Lee once he was kind of off the Spider-Man book after I believe like the
Sure,
first
sure.
100 issues. So Conway was like the next guy in line. He had all the dramatic stuff, and Stan Lee's getting all the calls like, "Wait, you killed off the Stacy's people are going to think we have something against them. What are you doing?" Okay, studio worked on this. Dong Yang, of course, Riddler's Reform from last week. Big or Two-Face related ones here. Did Two-Face Part 2 from the two-parter. First part was Spectrum. Of course, when Spectrum's away, who comes to play?
Don Yang.
Bingo, and also almost got him. So again, a little Two-Face. There's a duplex there for you folks. Dini on Dini on the writing for almost got him, and Dong Yang on the studio. All right, so not a whole lot in regards to background, just outside the context. This is a follow up on the Two-Face two-parter, proper sequel. In the animation in the animated tie-in comics, there was an additional story. In case you've ever wondered, not the two of a kind thing I told you about, but there was an actual thing that tied into the series that showed you what happened with the girlfriend, with Grace. So Harvey Dent's girlfriend in the first episode, she basically the Joker screwed up his relationship with Grace once he tried a reform in the comics, and it's oh god, it was horrific. He made him think that Bruce Wayne was cheating on her. Oh, it's horrible. Good story. I just mean, oh man, Joker screwed up Two-Face even more. You felt so bad for him. And yeah, so as I said, this is kind of Reform Interruptus. Flirts with a little bit of Dark Knight Returns, with kind of the what if Two-Face kind of got his face healed up through surgery. Again, we interrupt that, mind you, but again, really Dark Knight Returns-esque. And this foreshadows. There's a foreshadow to something that happens in the revamp, Tiki. So store that away. It's going to come back into play when you least suspect it. There's some new Adventures of Batman stuff that's kind of like a little light bulb kind of goes off. So just file that away.
Gotcha.
All right, okay, let's get into it then.
All right, so we have a really cool kind of black and white title screen, and then we get a very ominous shot of Batman and Robin overlooking a hospital, and they're just kind of like they're kind of watching out for a procedure in which Harvey Dent is being escorted into the hospital very carefully by a number of armed guards.
Oh yeah, I love the dark. I love the weather in this episode. I love like the dark and stormy kind of like, and of course
there's definitely some good atmospheric Batman shots here for sure.
So yeah, and again, I think maybe a subtle callback to the predecessor with the Two-Face episode had a very famous rain sequence, I think, in the second part. So that's a little connective tissue there, Two-Face in the rain. Of course, you can do a lot of great things with lightning with Two-Face. That's probably the other reason too.
I was going to say it wouldn't be a Two-Face episode without a dramatic Two-Face reveal, as we get when he steps out of the paddy wagon.
Speaking of which, I love there's a full circle element to this, where at the beginning of the episode we see the Two-Face side within the lighting. We see the big bad horror side, and of course, much like the original Two-Face we had in the therapist office, and here we kind of show like the bad half, and of course later we're going to show the good half. And again, I think it very much speaks to kind of the theme of the episode, which like it's a little clue to what's going on here. One could argue. Yeah. All right, so Robin's asking, you think it's going to work? Batman can only hope. We flash back, recreate what happened, the Two-Face origin.
Now, is this like a beat-by-beat recreation, or is it kind of a retelling?
It's a beat-by-beat. Like Dong Yang did not. This is from the first part of that two-part.
Yeah.
Dong Yang did not animate that, so they animated.
And of course, we have the very famous Harvey. No.
It's good, but not as good as the original. But
I agree. That's
what I'm saying. But seriously, it's really impressive though. Dong Yang, they took a pass at a scene they did not animate, and they did it really, really flawless. Actually, they kind of improved on a few things. They had a little bit more shadow work. It looked really nice. Harvey, but again, the Harvey no doesn't look as great as it did with Spectrum though. Like Harvey, no.
Yeah, Harvey no is an iconic moment. Let's not
make
words about that.
Okay, so Dr. Crest, who again was the therapist from the big famous, first part of Two-Face, the one who kind of say this is the same doctor. So she's in there trying to calm him down, prepare him for the surgery and everything. So we learn from Dr. Crest on the inside of the operating theater, as it were, the OR. Dr. Crest has prepared Harvey Dent, who is in more control now because of their sessions. He's on the way to reform. So right now they're trying to kind of like the last step in the reform would be, okay, well, once we get him kind of accepting of everything, and once, Harvey Dent's in control, we reconstruct his face to hopefully banish the bad side, and then the healing can really begin. So the bad side has supposedly been submerged, and Harvey Dent is in control. It's the final step to fix the scars and help banish Two-Face permanently. And I love this clue here. We when we say banish Two-Face permanently, we have like a real push in on the eye shot. We do like one of those
And
great painting shots.
the eye wakens up as we're doing that. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So we have like again we call back from the two. Again, this is such a wonderful
So it's kind of
sequence in
like
the
a
first
very
one.
subtle indication that the bad side of Harvey Dent is still awake.
Exactly. And also, again, those painted shots from the first Two-Face. Again, wonderful sequel in all sorts of ways, folks, both thematically and, again, stylistically. Great sequel. All right. So, as Two-Face is being put, as Harvey Dent's being put down, he reminisces over Bruce Wayne, who picked up the tab for the surgery, the very expensive reconstructive surgery. And this is a beautiful little bit here. It's going to be really important to the episode. It's just, good old Bruce. He's never getting up on me. I remember we used to close the town at the Half Moon Club. I hear they're tearing the place down. I guess nothing lasts forever. I love the somber beats of these little interchanges here. I love that Batman's watching from the skylight for a moment like this. Real personal stuff for Batman. I live for this sort of stuff. So he's knocked out. Legitimately, he's knocked out. They're about to begin. Scalpel's about to make the first go. Like, oh god, we can't do this on Saturday morning. Ah.
Yeah, what do you think about that, Trey? That would be a very dramatic thing to actually show as the half of the face just being scalped into.
It would be, and I gotta admit, Tiki, I wonder if this gets stuck in Dini's noodle because in the Dark Knight True Batman story, we kind of show Dini's own reconstructive face surgery. I wonder if there's
That's
some.
true. That's true.
And again, this would have been after Phantasm, which is when his mugging took place. So maybe a little bit of the DNA of this episode comes from the Dini mugging. I don't know.
All right, so as the knife goes into the face,
well, it's about to. We can't get away with that.
Yeah, yeah. So we have some gunfire. These goons are kind of like, "Oh, I'm sorry, Two-Face's insurance doesn't cover this operation."
Yeah. The boss wants to teach Dent some respect. Big line. The boss has plans for Two-Face, and of course our goons are masked here too, which is important.
Yeah.
Because again, if we see there's multiple henchmen here. Anyway, we'll get to that later. So Batman and Robin, they spring into action.
Back, yeah.
So Batman and Robin, they spring into action here. I love this bit because only Dini would address something like this. They're springing into action. Batman grabs the grappling gun, shoots at the hospital glass, but that's really strong hospital glass, man.
It really doesn't. It's really not very effective.
Yeah, so okay, come on. They got to run in through. They got to go to the ground floor. They got to go the conventional way, the 66 way. So we have some really good action. I'm just gonna kind of blow past some of this here.
It's a good action chase sequence for sure, but it's a lot of and they're chasing each other and they chase. Go ahead.
No, but seriously, they got really good. This episode is so well paced, didn't you think?
It is.
Highlight
for sure.
Because again, we start off the first act is this really high intensity kind of chase, and then split up. It's really anyway. So he batarangs the Tommy gun away, which this leads one of the most painful things to happen to Batman and Robin if you really look at it. So the Tommy gun goes off and hits the light fixture, and boom, the light fixture comes down and slams the two of them into the wall. Ouch! Very painful stuff. Okay, so Batman and Robin give chase. They split up because this is a little Dark Knight Returns pull. And Two-Face commits a heist. Two cars go off, and Batman has to pick one of the two cars. So there's a sedan, there's a van. I think Batman goes after the van, Robin goes after the sedan.
Mm-hmm.
Little cart, you see Robin, he's doing some cool acrobatic stuff as he's grappling onto a train. Clean your windshield, mister? Robin. So, point is, the sedan gets away, which has Harvey Dent in it, we learn. Batman on the Batcycle, meanwhile, which it's always great to see the Batcycle, man. It's so cool and all rounded and Art Deco-y.
Yeah.
He goes after the van. Let's say he's which by the way, him on the Batcycle again, nod to the Two-Face episode where he rode the Batcycle. He gets knocked over, almost hit by a truck. That's what I'm saying. There's a lot of great whammo blammo action, really good stuff. He gets almost killed 3 times in Act 1.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. He drives up to this overpass and lands right on the van, crushes it Nolan style. He crashes it, but no Two-Face. No go. So now we're in the Batmobile with a dynamic duo, and they're kind of evaluating their next move here. So they have clues, Teague. They have detective-y clues. You want to go over those?
Yeah. So let's see. So Penguin has had a grudge against Two-Face for a while. So maybe this is his revenge. And then, go ahead.
And the van was registered to Rupert Thorne.
Sure, yeah.
But the sedan was heading to Stonegate, which is where the Penguin is. So that's where they're getting that at. Yeah.
So Robin's like, sorry I wasn't able to stop him. And then Bruce is like, I'm sure you did your best. Robin's like, don't gush all over me. It's embarrassing.
So I love the undercurrent to this episode. This is the thing that really pops out on a rewatch, Dig, is that I love that Two-Face is one of the most personal things for Batman to contend with.
Of course.
On many levels, on many levels, he was friends with him before Robin, most likely. I mean,
very much so, I would say, yeah.
And you got to remember, with a character like Batman, as we've established in the animated series, and kind of most definitively, Bruce Wayne is the mask that it's like a hope maybe one day he could get back. It's like it's like a way to honor his parents, but also mask what he's doing.
Sure.
That's the thing. So the closest fun that Batman has in life is Bruce Wayne hanging out with Harvey Dent. That's the most legit fun that he ever has. So the closest way Batman regains his humanity was that friendship with Harvey Dent. So that's like an additional level to why it's so personal to him, and it's kind of also that Dark Knight idea too. That if Two-Face if Harvey Dent never went down the Two-Face route, if Harvey Dent could find his way back, perhaps there's hope that again he could find his way back to just being Bruce Wayne. Harvey Dent gets the job done, and they could be best buddies again. But unfortunately, not in the cards.
Mm-hmm.
That's why Batman's a little on edge this episode. And that's why Robin's kind of picking out, don't gush all over me.
So Bruce is just like quickly like, oh, I'm sorry, Harvey's a friend. This means a lot to me. And then Robin's just like, right, and I'm just the kid in the tights.
Again, you feel so bad for Robin at this point.
And then kind of genesis of Nightwing right there.
I know, exactly. These are the bits that formulate the Nightwing split.
Oh,
exactly.
Yeah.
He's like the little splint.
Sure.
They're the little splinters right now that eventually cause like a huge crack once we get to the next season. It's building, man. They've been building it. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
So let's see. So Batman, after he drops Robin off to chase the Rupert Thorne lead, he looks up for a beat at the Half Moon Club, which is under demolition. Most fun we ever had. A little echoey kind of.
I really like that. I really like that kind of flashback callback. It's a nice kind of atmospheric sort of, like you said, it really calls to mind just the the intensely personal relationship that Bruce had with Harvey.
It's always memorable to see. There are a lot of memorable moments in this episode for me, and like seeing Batman's vulnerable like this is something that sticks out.
Sure.
All right, so Robin's sneaking atop Rupert Thorne's building, which I think he's just sleeping in his office, by the way. I don't know if this is like, because again, I think he keeps losing stuff after each of his foilings, and he's in his cozy robe and everything, seemingly in an office. I don't know if it's his apartment or what, because it looks like an office, but I don't know. Maybe it's. Anyway, the point being,
it's best not to look too deep.
You're right. I'm just saying the point being. I'm just saying, well, the point being, it has some nice Citizen Kane atmosphere.
Sure.
Rupert Thorne in a nice, kind of cool-looking robe. He's literally counting his money.
Well, that's the thing, Dragon. He likes to sleep close to his money. At the end of the day, that's what counts.
Yeah, a little Scrooge McDuck-esque, yeah. Okay, so he is caught by Frankie, who, again, was the main thug from Two-Face. The one who, remember, he's the one who shoots the gun that kind of ended up
No, for sure. This is a very good sequel episode to Two-Face, definitely.
Really cool fun fact. I had no idea about this till my research. Matt Landers does the voice of Frankie, and the cool thing about Matt Landers is that he's married to Murphy Cross in real life. Murphy Cross was Grace from the Two-Face episode. The girl, that's how they got him.
Mm-hmm. Nice.
Okay, so he's caught by Frankie, by gun, and then of course Robin. He stashes his little glass cutter. He's going to cut into the. They don't have to crash through everything in crime fighting, folks. Sometimes you cut a little glass hole so you can just kind of jump in there. You can. Robin stashes the little glass cutter in his glove, which is going to come in handy later as he's taking the Rupert Thorne. So what happens?
All right, let's see. So Rupert Thorne is at his fireplace. He's saying, oh, Frankie here says they found you snooping around my roof. What are you trying to find? And then Robin's
John
just
Vernon.
Like, yeah, for sure. Robin's just like, not what Thorne? Who? Someone grabbed Harvey Dent out of Gotham Central. And then Rupert Thorne, he's basically just like kind of amused by this. Like, oh, you think I had something to do with that? Ha 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 ha. Somebody nabbed Two-Face and you thought I did it? Oh, that's great. So he's
Yeah.
basically just going on like, I really hate that guy. He tried to put me out of business, and I'm planning to do what to do when I get my hands on him. But
Better yet, I'll show you.
yeah.
That's the thing. I love that, like Rupert Thorne. He wishes he could have done, he could have done Two Face in here, but still, it's the fact that he's just written off like the whole, like, oh yeah, that's in the past. Though. I haven't really thought about Harvey Dent that much since I had my really traumatic encounter with him. But
Exactly.
I just love he's just such a bad guy. He's like, forget Dent. It's like it's.
But you know what? I don't have my evil D quota finished for today, so boys, throw him off the side of a bridge, will ya?
Yeah, and of course he has that great line. Oh, by the way, thanks for giving an old man a good laugh, kid. Now, Tiki, here's something special about this episode with two of our villains here. This is the last time you see him until the revamp, or a little past that for Rupert Thorne. So we kind of have these great character exits for Rupert Thorne and for the Penguin.
Okay, it's very good for both of them, especially for It's very good for Rupert Thorne with the Penguin. I don't know.
I know.
I feel like we could have gotten more with the Penguin, but you know what? I know that we have at least one more really good Penguin episode to look forward to in the revamp that I'm excited to get to. So I'll hold out hope for that.
Right. Okay. Anyway, so point being, there, Robin's in a trunk, which is not good. He's in a trunk. He's kind of fraying the ropes with the glass cutter. He's strategically hidden his glove. See, in 60s Batman, they're always talking about, oh yeah, we did this, but you never see it. And the animated series, you get to see him do the impressive stuff. That's what counts.
Yeah, totally.
So Frankie, this is great mob lingo. It sounds like something Chris Moltisanti would say in The Sopranos. By the way, this is fun dialogue. So Frankie says, "I used to fish around this bridge. Here's a kid. Not anymore. Too much garbage."
Garbage.
Put a little emphasis there, but pretty much like too much garbage. So they toss him, but no splash, because
but where's the splash? That's supposed to be an earth-shattering splash.
Oh yeah. So Robin saves himself mid-grapple, which leads to this awesome bit here. As Frankie's in the middle of his little PSA about littering, you shouldn't litter, especially with the mob and bodies. You shouldn't litter. Robin has this awesome swing kick. He just kicks them both out the other end of the car and like breaks the door off. Says, "Not all the garbage is in the river." There we go.
Good stuff. Good action beat.
We have a really good scene here with the Penguin.
Oh yeah. The Penguin has decided to take up Pigeon Man's line of work. Treaded.
Yep. Yeah, he saw that episode. He was just really inspired by it. You know what?
Exactly.
What the Pigeon Man episode is beautiful, but I'm a bad guy. How can I take it up to the next level? I'm gonna have these birds dance to my theme.
God. Oh, I love it. And of course, the great Paul Williams.
Yes. This is what I'm saying to you. This last encounter with the Penguin, you're going to see the last time he performs the Penguin until the revamp. There's something really memorable. This is one of the most memorable moments for me from the episode with the Penguin. So, he's again, nice little bit here where again, it's a little DeVito-esque in the sense of, again, it's like, oh, it's the Birdman doing stuff with birds, ha 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 ha. But it's like the elegance of it, though. That's the charm right there. That's the beauty of it. He's choreographing a little dance. A terpsichorean triumph. So Batman's outside his cell on the ledge outside the bars. Great staging. I love the staging on this is just great. Batman on the outside, again, Penguins with all these birds in his little cell. He's looking for Two-Face. Oh, you lost him? Like, no. So Batman explains that someone, I know you've had bad blood with Two-Face, and he mentions that Two-Face stole a rare two-headed Avis statue. It's worth millions. Jewel-encrusted, double-headed bird statue, I guess. But I would never kidnap a fellow rogue out of sickbed. It's just not done.
Yeah.
Which is great. That's why I love this Penguin, man, because he's all about like the honor among thieves.
Exactly. Yeah, very much so. Just like underline that point for sure, and that's Penguin for you.
And this is great too. Like if I were to attack Harvey, I do it face to face, so to speak. And then this is why Paul Williams is so great. This is why no one ever talks about his take on the Penguin because he was so good at it. Is that he does this. like this, because the turn from the elegance to the
I feel like
savage.
no one ever talks about like animated series Penguin in general.
No,
which is
they
kind of a
never do.
shame.
The only thing they mention is, oh yeah, they modeled after the V. But yes, but this was better though.
It's way better, man. It
I
really
know it's
is. It kind of calls to mind the comic book Penguin, but kind of does its own thing with it.
That's what I'm saying, because I know they do more comic book Penguin next season, but still, there was like I love the balance we struck though, because you felt sorry for him in episodes like Birds of a Feather, and then he always had the elegance, and he was fun when he popped anyway. So the point being is that this menace here is just like this, and he sends the very Hitchcockian. Of course, they love Hitchcock in the animated series. They very very Tippy Hedren attack here. He sicks all his birds on Batman. He's distracted for a mere moment. Penguin just shoves him off the edge, man. That's what I'm talking about right there. He shoves him off the edge. Great lesson in never underestimate the Penguin. Batman falls. He's dangling on the cell. He calls the guards like, down there. There's pointing down and Bad X. And this is Antigua, this is the memorable moment I'm talking. This moment has always stuck with me with the Penguin animated series. This memorable last one as we play the wonderful Penguin theme, and just Penguin sitting in his cell alone with his birds. I just love that as like the last beat for the animated series version of the Penguin.
You know what? You're not wrong, Dragon. Like, honestly, I wish I would have gotten like a warning that would be the last time we saw the Penguin, at least in animated series form. But you're not wrong. It is a good beat to end on for sure. It's very poetic, and it does kind of like, it does kind of call to mind like a journey that the Penguin's been on.
Yeah, and again, like this is the sort of thing. If like, a little headcanon, given the he hits the Iceberg Lounge once it becomes more comic book like next season. But I love this. It's like this moment that it's like Penguin was stewing in it for a while. Like this is what I'm reduced to. Like the closest thing I get to happiness is trying to push my enemy from a window ledge. He's like Penguin's self-reflecting. And I like to think this is the sort of thought that's going to lead him to be a more enterprising with the Iceberg Lounge and everything. It's like taking a self-reflective look in that last memorable bit. That's what I like to think.
Sure.
All right. Okay, so Batman and Robin, they meet up at the hospital. No dice on either lead, but Batman has a theory that he's going to test.
Oh yeah.
Old world's greatest detective style here.
Dragon, this episode really truly does hit you with a Shyamalan twist, and I love it.
It does. So the two investigate the OR crime scene. They're sporting the infrared visor goggles. Using this spray, they're using like some spray to basically illuminate any prints and everything that's in there, and they're using the infrared visors. Way back early in the series, they're zooming in. Like I'm talking like the pilot, man. I'm talking like on.
No, I know what you're saying. Yeah.
So let's see. So Batman finds footprints from the kidnappers and detects masonry dust.
Mm-hmm.
This, of course, this is the clue Batman needs. He now knows, okay, Batman's going to play his hunch, but he wants to go it alone, which, again, poor Robin's like, oh, man, why am I even in this episode? But he gets there. Don't worry, folks. He's going somewhere. It's not just like that whole, we got to write Robin out of the third act again. Like, no,
it's a little bit that. It's a
little bit, but again, there's a point, though. We have a wonderful bow put on. We have some Nightwing stuff. It all works.
Sure.
So, it's great. So Harvey's his own worst enemy. He insists on going alone.
Uh-huh.
All right. So we're at the Half Moon Club now.
Half Moon Club. Those are the best times that Bruce and I ever had. I'm sorry. Okay.
All right. So this is a great. I love this location. It's the decimated location with history that again has significant.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, I love locations like that.
The exposed background for you can be outside, have all the lightning flashes you want because it's kind of condemned. So Batman he arrives and he tells the kidnappers to come out. I know who you are. I know everything now. You can just come out. Again, we're building up who it is. You hated Harvey Dent. You would do anything to destroy him. And of course, we reveal Two-Face being bum 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 Shyamalan.
Yeah, totally. Oh my God! It was the other personality the whole time.
Yep. Of course, again, I love and this is Dini Logic. This is Dini Logic.
Oh, it's great. It's great. I loved it, especially because like, I don't want to say I didn't see it coming, but I do want to say that like the red herrings of the Penguin and Thorn just absolutely kind of threw you off the scent in the best way.
But that's the thing. Even Batman calls into question. Like, I should have seen it. Two red herrings.
Totally. It makes
Which is,
too
again,
much sense.
it's great. It's perfect. So anyway, Two-Face's rationale is just flawless. Why not? He was going to destroy me, and that's a Dini pitch if I ever saw it.
Absolutely. It's perfect. It's perfect, Dragon. It's a perfect twist as far as I'm concerned. That's why I like the episode as much as I do.
And of course, then the goons are unmasked. And if you look, they're two sets of twin goons. Again, he always hires the two. That's why they're masked up from earlier. So they're drawing their guns on Batman. The two fight until the goons show up, and they're. So now we have the death trap of the episode, which is great. So Batman, one of the all-time great Two-Face moments is about to happen. So Batman hangs from a wrecking ball.
Wait, hold on, Dragon, hold on. I just need to emphasize the glorious maniacal laugh that Two-Face gives before we cut to credits.
Oh yeah, that's great.
It's so creepy. It's so creepy. It's just like it's not even a real cliffhanger. It's just like, yeah, Two-Face is in control, baby, and he's happy about it.
Oh yeah, that's not good.
All right. Anyways, go ahead.
So we're at the death trap now. So Batman's hanging from this. He's chained and cuffed to this wrecking ball that is rigged with a bomb. It's rigged with a big old bomb. And of course, Batman says,
"Call it a bomb expert." I'm sorry.
I'm gonna blow up this episode. Anyway,
I get no love in the animated series.
Anyway, so again, Batman saying you should have seen it coming, and of course, Two-Face echoing the earlier sentiments, like I had to teach him a little respect. We all need a little, my way. Of course, Batman pointing, "You're your own worst enemy, Harvey." Oh, I'm your worst enemy. Again, he's like shutting down.
I love how defensive that is. It's just like, no, I know you are, but what am I?
Oh boy, and this is like these are the moments when you think, oh man, if only he knew the truth, if only he knew who was behind that mask, it would change the game entirely.
Yeah, totally.
Oh good. Anyway, so point being, the plan is to detonate the bomb once he and the goons are out the building, unless the coin says different. Mm-hmm. So Batman, he's stalling, he's picking the lock as he plays along, mid flip. And of course, this is what happens here is like the Riddler's reform moment. I hyped up. I always hype up with the Riddler. One of his perfect moments where it's like the ending of the Riddler's reform. I have to know.
This is absolutely the Two-Face version of that. Maybe a little less psychologically intense, but still on that level.
I mean, it's compared to like the first Two-Face two-part. I mean, it's kind of hard to top that. But this is again if for another Two-Face moment, another famous Two-Face defeat. This is like that's up there. When I think of the Two-Face defeats outside the two-parter. It's this one.
I would not argue with that.
One of my favorite defeats of Two-Face ever, what Batman does here. So Ben Pixel, he's playing along, so mid-flip, he says, I want to see it hit the floor, which again is admirable. Yeah, he wants to make sure he's not lying about what it comes up as.
Right.
I want to see it hit the floor. So, of course, what happens, Tiki?
It does not hit the floor, or more accurately, it does hit the floor, but on its side, as
it lands on edge.
No tails. And that is no bueno for Big Bad Harv.
No bueno indeed, my friends. Oh boy, so to Two-Face's shock, the coin is landed on edge, and again, this is what like Riddler's reform here again, like that using the rogues' obsessions to be their undoings. That's why I love the animated series and the way Batman deals with his foes. That's the way
that can't happen.
Yep. It's so perfect. Okay, I can't decide. It's like I can't decide if it's on head. How can I decide if it isn't heads or tails? So Batman, in the time that he's bought himself with this, Batman uncuffs himself as Two-Face. I love how Two-Face just helpless and scrambling during all this because this has never happened to him before. Like what? Again, he's just broken by this. I love it. So Batman's fighting the goons as Two-Face amidst the gunfire. He's continuing to chase the coin down, which is a great ticking clock within.
Yeah.
So Batman again, as Batman's fighting the goons, the bomb switch gets hit by the gunfire. So the point being, the bomb has kind of slowly been triggered. As Batman's fighting the gunman, good action there. Two-Face, he keeps flipping the coin. He keeps letting it hit the ground because again he has to because that was Batman's last request. He has to keep letting it hit the ground. So. Keeps hitting the
Oh,
ground, but
Batman, he's a man who knows how to plant a seed in someone's head and just watch it grow from there, right?
oh yeah. So it lands very precariously on a high beam. That
Right? It
yeah.
can't land on edge. Has to be heads or tails. How can I decide if it isn't heads or tails?
Oh yeah, so it lands on edge and it's rolling very to this oh god to like the end to the edge of the thing.
Mhm.
And of course I love we have like the vertigo effect because we're many stories up. So he's
You
on
know
it.
what? It's kind of like I like how it's kind of like an animation cheat where you mostly just see the exterior of the levels. You don't really see that many perspective shots. So all you need is that one vertigo shot
Hmm.
to show you that it's high up. You know what I mean? Like
Exactly.
you don't need like a whole bunch of like scale shots. All you need is that one shot to instill the idea.
So amidst the action, Two Face is precariously on this iron high beam that's it's on at the edge of this dilapidated club that's many stories up, and it's on the he has to walk on this rickety high beam. What could possibly he's doing this rickety beam walk like any Warner Brothers Looney Tunes cartoon, like but again dramatically though. I'm just saying it's like oh no we got to stop the baby from crawling
Yeah, totally.
on the beam. So Batman, he's chasing Harvey down before the bomb goes off, or it, basically either that or, he's gonna fall off the thing. He says, no, either bomb goes off or he's gonna fall. Either option, not good. Two very big death options for Harvey Dent there.
Right,
So we have this great climax that parallels it kind of parallels the Two Face episode, giving Batman a chance to save. Remember the famous nightmare sequence in the Two Face episode?
Very vaguely, very vaguely.
Why didn't you save me,
Oh yeah, oh,
Bruce?
of course, yeah,
That whole
sure.
thing. So apparently, the main way we call back the Two Face episode are kind of with the memorable lines. But yes, that's but yeah. So that's the thing. It's like Batman, of course, blames himself for not being able to save Harvey. He's very haunted by it. This is kind of Batman getting a second chance to save Harvey, then dangling very precariously in a dichotomous position.
Mhm.
Again, with these two ticking clocks of either him falling or the bomb going off. The coin. We have this excellent shot as Batman's like running to catch him there. The coin rolls off. As Two Face is trying to get in. Two Face, and I love how this is directed. Two Face, he leaps off. He basically kind of steps off the beam with the Two Face hand. He catches the coin with the Harvey Dent hand. He grabs onto the beam. So again, the two
Nice,
sides of himself are at war to
yeah.
save his life and save his definition of character. So I love that framing. So Batman's now he's grabbing Two Face as he's about to fall again. Hey, pull yourself up, Harvey. I can't. I'll drop the coin. Very Indiana Jones like.
Yeah, for sure. And so Batman basically reveals that he made a dupe coin that will not land on anything except for its side. It's not going
It's
to
a
be able
trick
to tell
coin.
you anything. All right, so Robin swoops in for a save.
Yep, I love this moment too, where Batman gives like a little smile amidst the drama, like, "Yeah, good on Robin."
Yeah, for sure. I noticed that too.
Like giving Robin some props after kind of giving the cold shoulder earlier on. Robin, by the way, during this, I love how he saves the goons after he knocks him out. He throws the batarang and it ricochets to hit the elevator button. Really cool move.
Mm.
Anyway, so again, Batman's like, "It's a trick coin. I switched it when you grabbed me, Harvey." It's it's basically gives him the big choice here. It's your decision now, Harvey. Life or death. The coin or me. Oh boy! And again, the ticking clock goes on here as the elevator's going down with the thugs. The bomb's just about to go off, and this is great. So Two Face, he drops the coin.
Mm-hmm.
Batman, help me! So Harvey Dent in control, and he is until the lightning strikes, which is always a sign of doom in the Two Face episodes. Lightning strikes, bad stuff happens. So every time that lightning struck in that first one, you knew okay, the big bad harm's coming out, or Grace is gonna faint, some bad's Batman's in a storm. So the lightning hits, and Two Face is now back in control. Never, and he punches Batman when he was about to be lifted up. He punches him and he drops because of this. So Batman, I love the Batman just drops the follow him. He grapples. We don't even see him catch him because hyped up on the intensity, and you get figure, he's got to be all right, right? He's got to be okay.
Exactly.
So Batman and Robin in tow, they evade the explosion just right before it goes off, and then we have a really nice ending.
It is a very, it's an understated ending, but it's nice. It really is.
So we're in Arkham.
Okay. So the Harvey side of Two-Face, as he's being hauled away back to Arkham, is like, Bruce, you never gave up on me. And Bruce just kind of gives him like a nice pat on the shoulder.
Mm-hmm.
And I love how you could very clearly notice that it's Harvey and not Two-Face.
I know, and that lighting choice, again, that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Good old Bruce, you're always there. You never give up on me. And again, just that I love that Bruce doesn't even have to say a word, and it's just that's reassuring.
Absolutely.
And again, because you see that flicker. I know it's silly because you have some people are out there, some cynical, like, it's a cartoon. Why are you?
No, I don't think it's silly at all. It's like no words need to be said. It's just like these are two friends who will be there for each other through thick and thin, even though one of the friends is literally past the point of no return.
Exactly, and it's just like that flicker you can see in the animations. You can see that flicker in Bruce, like Batman for a moment. The hope's there.
Mm-hmm.
So Dick Grayson, then he's there also. He says, "You're right. He's right. You're always there for him." And of course, Bruce says, "Just like you're always there for me." Yeah, that's a beautiful. It's one of the most seriously.
It's a hallmark moment, Dragon. It's a hallmark moment in the best of ways.
I'm not kidding. Not counting Robin's Reckoning, one of the best Batman Robin moments ever.
Oh yeah, sure. I won't knock that.
What are friends for? They walk away. Again, we parallel the two friendships, which is again like the Batman's dealing with the past, but he's also looking forward with characters like Robin, which is beautiful. All right, final thoughts.
All right, final thoughts. I enjoyed this episode quite a bit. I think it's, I honestly think it's significantly better than a lot of the other Reform episodes we've gotten, just because it doesn't really stick to a formula. It just kind of like twists and turns you all over the place. But at the end of the day, it's definitely a Bruce Wayne story. More, importantly, it's a Bruce Wayne story, not a Batman story, and that's what I like about it.
Yeah. Final thoughts for me. Great episode. Great continuation for the Two-Face two-parter, which again is a tall order to make that work, and they did it in spades. Again, they had Dini on board. I'm not surprised, and Michael. They had the writing all stars, man, and Kirkland. It's all there. Again, it's about the ease. It's kind of the ease and difficulty of friendships. That's kind of what the episode really circles around. Theme-wise, it's about being there no matter what. There are good times and a lot of bad times. You always got to be there no matter what, which is something really, really kind of nice and encouraging about that with the theme of the episode. Batman learned to appreciate Robin, the friends that, like he does with Harvey Dent, which is quite beautiful. Again, episode in total, it's about second chances. It's a second chance to save his friend the way he felt he failed him in the first episode. It's like a second chance at life in many regards. Second chance at, again, like finding a new Harvey Dent with the whole Bruce Dick Grayson of it all. Again, episodes like these are what I live for in season 3. No one ever talks about this episode because they're always going to the two-parter. And I love the two-parter, but still, this is such a great gem that no one ever goes.
This is honestly a damn good sequel, man. It's a damn good follow-up, and I genuinely think, like, not to poo-poo any of the other follow-ups, but I think the problem with the other follow-ups is that they all kind of, like, fall into the same formula of, like, oh, the villain's getting out of Arkham, and it seems like he's reformed, but maybe he's not reformed. Yeah. And this one just kind of, like, takes that core concept and just plays around with it in a really clever, twisty, turny sort of way. So yeah, I definitely think it's a shame that no one talks about this one.
Again, like this and Riddler's Reform, these are like the top tier of those sorts of episodes. And again, never get enough credit that's due. Okay.
All right. So what's next, Dragon?
A shopping spree turned crime spree. Harley Quinn released, shenanigans to follow. Gotham City turned war zone. Will Harley's reform take, or is one bad day all it takes to revoke newfound sanity? Tune in to find out. Same animated bat time, same animated bat place.
On the next visit to the animated Batcave with Harley's Holiday. Nobody cared who I was until I put on the mask.
Harvey, no.
Harvey,